What's going on, guys? This is your boy XQ420 here. I want to welcome everybody back to another episode of Showtime with the Cube. Of course, as always, I've got the powerful co-host, Corey Hughes. Corey, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm really good. We're about to wrap up this fucking thing that I hope is dead in the ground forever. So yeah, good day.
But I don't think that it is, though. The way that we're talking, Corey.
Heart.
Now they may go back to the drawing board and do something 5 years from now, but that's neither here nor there. If it's y'all's first time to the channel, don't hesitate, hit the subscribe button if you're watching us on YouTube. If you're on all the podcast platforms, we appreciate everybody there. If you listen to us there, hit the follow button. Leave a comment. All that stuff helps us on the algorithm, trying to get this stuff out to more people. We appreciate everybody who's checked us out so far. So, Corey, today we're wrapping up She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, Episode 9, the finale. The finale. Now, I just want to say this right out the gate, okay? Or I ask you this right out the gate. Was this episode a redeemer of the series?
No. No.
It's just
and
a simple no.
Simple no. This might possibly be the worst season finale of any show in the history of television. For what would probably be the worst show ever made in the history of television. To find something worse, you'd probably have to find some of them ultra low budget sci-fi flicks from like the 1970s that they tried to turn into television shows. Those are pretty bad, but possibly not as bad as She-Hulk.
Or like Mr. Jangles, that low budget horror flick. Something like that,
I've seen, I don't know if you've ever seen the classics by Ed Wood, like Plan 9 from Outer Space, where like the spaceships you can see the wires that the spaceships are hanging on, right? Okay. But
it was better.
It was better. It was better than She-Hulk because they had their fucking heart and soul and they tried. God damn it, they really tried. And She-Hulk, there's no point for it to have ever existed. They fucking phoned it in from day one. And when I read about how they had to rewrite scripts and stuff starting with like episode 1, like they had the whole thing done, they had to rewrite the whole fucking show. I feel like the writers inserted their own disdain for the audience into the rewritten scripts, which is pretty obvious here in the last episode.
This is true. They actually say, I think in a Variety article, if I'm correct, that the finale was a middle finger to the quote unquote trolls and bigots and racists, as far as that group of people that's in the MCU fandom. So
let me give the world a little bit of a fucking bit of insider information, okay? All of us are trolls, and everybody's a bigot, and everybody's a fucking racist, okay? So I don't want to hear your goddamn criticisms about some bullshit no more, all right? God, the media can fuck right off. Look deeper than the human soul, and we're all assholes, okay? That's the bottom line.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It just depends on if you want to ruin somebody's day or not. So we're gonna try to go through this episode, Corey. All right, we're gonna try to go through this. It's gonna hurt us both. Okay, it's gonna hurt us both because the episode was in fact that bad. So the way it starts, all right, we come off the heels of everybody seeing Jen's sex tape. Live, parents and everything. She smashes the place up. The police are there. But the way this episode starts, it was an homage to the 1977 Incredible Hulk, I believe. Isn't that correct?
Right. I don't know if you were. I don't know how old you are. Were you old? Were you old enough to remember that show from back in the day?
I watched some of those. I did watch some of those shows. So I know about it because my mom liked the Hulk. So I did watch some of those shows.
Those were great, but like in the late 70s and the early 80s, like they had these themes, like kind of like Rambo, right? Like they're after him, he's going through the town, and there are a bunch of bigots themselves, and they just want Rambo out of town, right? And like that's kind of the theme that we get with the old Hulk. He's a drifter passing through town, often has run-ins with the cops who just want to shuffle him out. And so, yeah, that was a kind of theme of entertainment back in the day. The town's getting rid of the justified grifter. And so, but it was, I thought it was cute. It was stupid, but it was cute how they gave a little nod to
and
what might be the best Hulk of all time, the original.
Yeah, Yeah, they used the totally like they didn't use Jen CGI as She Hulk either. They used some other actress.
Yeah, they
I'm
must be
assuming it was an
trying.
actress. I was just like, that was weird. And the other
Hmm.
actress was like, when she turned to She Hulk, it'd be like more what you would think, like just a touch more manlier, you know.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to pull together any scrap footage they might have filmed to try to salvage any money they might have spent on this piece of junk.
It's just some crap footage. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So it starts off with that homage, and it quickly reverts into Jen being in lockup, the same lockup that Abomination was in. I guess if you're a Hulk, that's the lockup that you can't get out of. Supposedly,
Supposedly.
you can't transform and get out of that particular lockup. And Mallory comes in as her defense lawyer and states, look, they'll drop the charges, as long as you renounce She-Hulk and remain with an inhibitor. So the same rules apply as for her and Abomination as far as the terms of service. Let's just say that, terms of service. Obviously, that's something that's easy to break. You know what I'm saying? You are a Hulk. And it's just like Abomination. I'm just like, at any point in time, you just be like, you know what, fuck this. I mean, who's really gonna stop you? You know what I'm saying? Are they gonna come in there with their little stun guns and they're gonna slow you down? I wouldn't think so. But maybe they've got some advanced technology to slow down people like the Hulk or the Abomination, things like that. Can you give me some insights on that, Corey? I mean,
Yeah, I sure can. The way that you take a Hulk into custody is you end the show and you start the next one with them in custody, so you don't have to fucking deal with it and come up with a whole bunch of nonsense that people can pick apart, which is what they did. So I kind of thanked them for that, not giving us any more to fucking mock them with.
Yeah, that's what I was just like. I was like, all right, but of course, Jen's in control of her emotions, though. So she realized what she was doing was wrong. Immediately turned back into Jen.
If ever there was a woman on planet Earth who couldn't control her goddamn emotions, it's this bitch.
Oh boy, I mean, you ain't lying about that. So renouncing her Hulkship. Okay, she's got to throw her Hulk card away, never to be used again. All right, now I'm not sure what's up with this never to be used again. What if? Well, I was about to say something really dumb. I was like, what if she's needed for some type of conflict? But will we need She-Hulk for a conflict against a real villain? You know what I'm saying? Against somebody who is out to kill people.
Right, because she hasn't done any training. She really hasn't listened to her cousin on how to use her power. She's a typical fucking know-it-all who doesn't know shit. And so yeah, I just checked, and as of 3 days ago, Disney has not renewed She-Hulk for a second season. So
okay.
We don't know what's going to happen yet, but as of 3 days ago, no renewal of contract. We don't know what's going to happen there.
Okay, they were probably waiting on that last episode, and they were like, "Woo! All right, cool, yeah." We probably shouldn't have spent the money on this. This was wasted budget. We could have put it towards something else. I'm pretty sure there's another project that would have done. I mean, you could have gave me some run of the mill stuff. You know what I'm saying? You could have gave me some run of the mill, like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and that'd have been 100 times better than this.
Right, or even just some more one-offs in their fucking MonsterVerse. I really hope that they. I don't know how Werewolf by Night has done. I've not seen any reviews. I've not seen any ratings. But I'm hoping that they actually delve into this MonsterVerse, because there's a whole nother universe there for them to explore without. I'm sorry, I just don't give a shit about Thor or motherfucking Spider-Man or any of these people anymore. I just don't. Okay, I don't.
Even though Spider-Man: No Way Home was probably one of the better movies that they put out over the Phase 4.
But that was put out because it was Sony. Sony put that out, not Marvel.
Well,
that's why it was fucking good, because Sony still owns the rights to Spider-Man, if I'm not mistaken.
You got a good point
context. There. So that was definitely not Marvel who was doing that. Marvel, god damn. Like they caught the woke bug and they're just fucking done. This is a perfect opportunity for DC to do something and not be so stupid.
Which is that Black Adam movie, which I've heard some people talk about it, and well, with the initial people who were able to watch it, they got some good things to say about it. But as far as the She-Hulk goes, it kind of descends from here. She loses her job, right out the bat. I don't know how she lost her place immediately. Hot damn, did she not have any money saved?
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, so you fucking lose your job, and all of a sudden, like, you ain't even got like 3 months to work out a remortgage or something. Like, you're just out. Like, what a quitter! Fuck.
Boy, she hit rock bottom quick, boy. I mean, just from the top right to the bottom, real quick. She was.
I mean, she had everything but the glass pipe in her fucking hand. Seriously.
Yes. I mean, she went from female lawyer of the year, well, one of the 6 female lawyers of the year, to everybody seen her butt naked banging banging Josh, to living back at home with her parents. All right, I mean, it's just like, what kind of time lapse is it? It looks like just next day. It's just like next day. She gets out of prison, next day she got nothing. I was like, damn. Boy, she must not have had a dime to her name. That's all I know. She must have been working on credit the whole time. I was just like, boy, you want to talk about the mighty have fallen? My goodness. I mean, you can't sign a comic book or something. I mean, just that's all I'm saying. So we got that pitiful descent. All right, she's sulking, and this is pretty much where the episode kind of goes off the rails, okay? It goes completely way out there. Because she ends up leaving her home and going and staying at Emil Blonsky's place. Now, she can't get up with Emil Blonsky, but at the same time, her friend, Nikki, and Pug go to infiltrate Intelligentsia. All right, Nikki has managed to put a video up on the Intelligentsia site, and they invite her to the said meeting. Now, they think she's a dude. That's why she uses Pug, which I swear to you, the first time I seen Pug, I thought that he was an idiot. But they just, something just flip-flopped with him throughout the show. So that's neither here nor there. But
a lot of things flip-flop on this show.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it just seemed like, because at first he was serious, and then all of a sudden he's just like, oh, yeah, bro, it's cool. I was just like, is that how lawyers act? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it is. Maybe this is just, maybe I need to go stand in the lawyer's office for a little bit and get firsthand of how they speak and how they operate. But her and Pug do the infiltration. And, of course, Todd is there. All right? Which, me and you both, we kind of picked up on. I was like, I'm seeing Todd too much. So he has to be a part of this. Now, this particular group, there's no women out there. All right? So this just seems like a group of men who can't get no pussy. I mean, that just seemed to me to be what this was, all right? And that's what it was trying to portray. Did you catch that?
I did catch that. And, yeah, it was your typical bunch of fucking living in your mom's basement losers who they got together to gang up on fucking She-Hulk. And, so I appreciated all the criticism that these bunch of nerds had for her, because they were right on every fucking point. Which means that the writers know how bad the shit is, and they wrote it into the script.
Yeah, this is true. But I think their disdain goes even further than that. I think they got a disdain because probably women overlook them more often than not. All right, quite a bit actually. Probably ain't never seen any actually, if we want to be honest. Because I mean, just the way they were acting, you know what I'm saying? It's like, say something about her being a woman, and they, oh yeah, fuck women. I mean, it's just like, I was like, no, you want to fuck them, you know what I'm saying? That's what you're trying to say. That's what you're trying to say. I know what y'all are trying to say. You know what I'm saying? You got some pent up emotions, and it's all good. All right. She-Hulk just brought to the forefront. You think she's not worthy of her powers, but she's not, because she actually doesn't have any. All right. She just turns green. She actually doesn't have any powers at all. She
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean,
and she gets a little strong, I guess.
Yeah. She might tear up some of your shit. All right. And that's about it. So, the plot twist right now is that Emil Blonsky is a motivational speaker as Abomination. What a crock of shit, man. What have they done to Abomination? He shouldn't be named Abomination anymore. He shouldn't be named Abomination.
And he didn't look like a big fucking cartoon drawing in the original Hulk movie. He looked tough. He don't look tough in this. He looks like a goddamn mutated Aquaman.
Yeah, I know, with the fins.
The fins, yeah.
It just looked weird. I'm just like, what is this? I mean, you're just covering your eyes and you're just like, man, y'all had an opportunity in this show to, and I see what this show tried to be. It tried to be more of introducing characters that are going to be in the MCU in the future, as opposed to being stuck on She-Hulk. We see Daredevil. We end up seeing Hulk's son at the end, Scar. We have cameos of all kind of other characters. Wong's in it, so it's just like, it just seemed more like cameo. And we're going to get into a couple of videos from some people who disagree with us. But they called this a sitcom. I said, look, they already did the sitcom thing. Okay, they did it with WandaVision, but they did it a whole lot better. I mean, they did it 100 times better, because it ended up turning into something, which is not what this show did. I mean, it really turned into nothing. You got any thoughts on that, Corey?
Well, I didn't see WandaVision. I think it's the only thing in the MCU I haven't seen yet, other than like the dumb cartoons and fucking Ms. Marvel.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
That led to Doctor Strange, right?
Yes.
The second Doctor Strange. And
okay, so just to give you a little background on WandaVision actually, like, when it started, it was in black and white, and they ran it just like a Married with Children sitcom. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's to a T. Like, when I first started watching it, I'm like, what the hell am I watching? But then weird stuff would happen, at the end of the episode to make it think, hold on a second, something's wrong here. Either Wanda's trapped in this alternate universe. That's what you're thinking to start off with. But then you find out that Wanda has actually taken hostage the entire city and blocked it off with her powers. And like has everybody like as slaves, and they can't control their actions. So, and the whole time, if you're outside of the actual city, you can actually look into what's going on in the city through a TV, and it looks like a sitcom.
Gotcha.
So they already did that one time, all right, but it led to something. It's like, okay, Wanda's got kids and stuff, and so that leads to once again heartache, because she has to destroy the city because she doesn't want to continue hurting people, and she loses her kids. Leads up into Doctor Strange. So that was a perfect, you take it from this, you move it here. Okay, I understand the concept. She-Hulk, we're taking it from this. What concept do you have past this?
Nothing at all. To go with the second season, or to put her in a movie or whatever. I don't know if they admitted that they're not going to put her in a movie, because the final scene with the little AI robot fucking thing, which at that point I just gave up. I just gave up. I just dropped everything that was in my hands, and I'm just sitting there, took my glasses off, and I'm like, what is happening here? It was like a car crash. You just can't look away.
It was so bad, and we're gonna get to that right here in a second. All right, so Abomination is there speaking, and somehow they're at Emil Blonsky's ranch. That's where the damn intelligentsia stuff is going down. I'm just like, okay, this is random as hell. So Todd, obviously they figured out how to synthesize She-Hulk's blood, which I still don't know what blood they got. It has to be period blood. She doesn't have a mark on her. All right, she hadn't been stabbed with the needle. I talked about this with somebody at work, one of my friends. I was like, Bud, when they get her blood, my man had sex with her and videotaped it. It's got to be the period blood. That's the only thing I can think of. Because that big needle he had, if you get stabbed with a needle, you're going to wake up.
Oh,
okay?
Yeah.
There's just no doubt about it. All right? You get stabbed with a needle, you're going to wake up. All right? That's just all there is to it. So I'm just like, okay, so somehow they got it. He takes it, and then he transforms into a Hulk himself. He goes with the classic, was it bromance stuff, come at me, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's some of that bromance stuff. And then it gets into a fight, and the Hulk drops through the ceiling, and I'm just like, what the fuck is happening here, man? I'm like, dude, the Hulk starts fighting Abomination. I'm like, where'd he come from? What is this? He just drops through the ceiling. And it's just like, and then all of a sudden, I thought my damn PlayStation messed up. Because it went to the damn to the Marvel screen, Disney Plus screen, where you see all the movies and stuff they got. I was like me and my girlfriend was sitting there and it's flipped. I said, "Damn, my shit done fucked up." Or did they just cut the show? Well, we taking it too far. Just cut the show. And so it cuts to that screen, and Corey, I'm like, what is happening? And then She-Hulk busts through. And I'm like, oh my God. This thing, I thought it went off the rails before, Corey. Dude. I'm like, what are y'all doing, man? Corey, help me out, bud.
I wish I could help you out on this one, but I was sitting there just as clueless as you were. I'm like, at this point, I think my jaw had fallen open. And I think I had spit dripping down the side of my fucking mouth. I'm like, this isn't real. I'm pinching myself. I'm going, holy shit, did I smoke too much fucking weed? What is going on here?
Oh, dude, I was freaking out. I was like, man, because I ain't even in no recreational usage, bud. You know what I'm saying? My career is pretty much over. All right, my career is over. And so I was sitting there and I was just like, man, did somebody slip something in my drink? You know what I'm saying? Did I get roofied? I mean, it's just like I was looking around and then she buzzed through and I'm just like, what is going on? And then all of a sudden, she's standing in there with the writers. Corey.
She goes walking through the stage set. I'm like,
it's just like, what has happened to this episode? Bo, this was the worst episode that they made in the whole thing. Mm-hmm. How do you make the worst episode the last episode? Dang, I tried to brand that title a while back, but they just kept one-upping me.
It's funny because I think on the second episode you were like, this thing is off the fucking rails. And then the next episode you're like, this thing's even more off the fucking rails. And here we are, and every episode just kept getting worse and worse.
Dude.
There wasn't, at least Lord of the Rings that we're watching, at least they had some moments where it felt like it was returning to a normalcy, right? Not in here, not in fucking She-Hulk. So this kind of thing has sort of been done before, but much better than how they pulled it off. So my favorite television show of all time is Supernatural. Sam and Dean Winchester, who go around killing vampires, killing werewolves, all the different monsters. It is by far my favorite television show ever. It beats everything. It's that fucking good. And they had an episode where they're fighting this demon guy and they go to dive through a window to get away, and the demon casts a spell and they end up crashing through the window. And when they land on one of those mats at a studio, and the director's like, cut! And they jumped from being the supernatural characters to being the actors that they actually that play them on the show, but they were still in their minds the characters. And so they had to go through a whole episode pretending to be the actors, not the characters. Okay. and they wrapped it up just killer. I mean, it was just the best you could possibly do any of this fourth wall shit. And then to go from seeing that to seeing something like this, where they just pissed in the faces of all the fans, it was quite disappointing, and it makes me never want to watch anything Marvel ever again, really.
But you'll have to, because we got to
review. Oh my God, I'll have to.
Look, man, we got to review it, okay? I mean, it's got to get better sometime. My God, dude.
I think that's a bad assumption to make.
Well, so shit, man. They've done a couple things that's been good over the past year and some change. They've done a couple things. Loki's been good. Werewolf by Night was good. Falcon and Winter Soldier was acceptable enough.
So I didn't watch that one either.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was acceptable enough. I mean, it was pretty much about super soldier serum. So that was acceptable enough. All right. WandaVision acceptable. This is not acceptable. Okay. This is not acceptable. This is not a bud. Look, man. If you're trying to switch things up, Werewolf by Night is how you switch things up. Okay.
Yeah.
That's how you switch things up. All right. The good project. This project, and I know they were saying a sitcom trying to be fun, but it wasn't even funny. Okay, there was a couple moments that we chuckled at other characters who doesn't even have a significant role. Mr. Immortal, the vampire Saracen, or the fake vampire. I don't know if he's real or not. I mean, he out in broad daylight, so I'm assuming he's not real, but unless he's like a Blade type character. But yeah. So I mean, there was a couple moments where you chuckle, but it didn't even have anything to do with She-Hulk herself. So it's just pretty bad. So she moves over. She breaks into the writers' room, and you see the people who made this travesty of a show. Now, I've got a suggestion for them. All right, that they should retire. No, I'm not gonna move that far. But they should definitely retire from writing. All right. And when I say retire from writing, I'm talking about writing anything. Don't sign your name, on a bill. You know what I'm saying? Let somebody else do it. I don't need you to,
that's
click on the typewriter or anything.
It doesn't seem like that's how the big leagues work. The big leagues, whether you're talking entertainment or politics, it seems as though you have to fail your way to the top. So I promise you, every single one of these Hulk writers is going to get a promotion to write some other piece of fucking garbage.
Yeah. And what's crazy is that the woman who wrote it is like, oh, yeah, I don't know anything about the comic material. It's like, how you going to write a comic book character and not know anything about the source material? That would be, number one, let me go read the source material. And let me get, we're not going to do the exact word for word what's in the source material, but they give me a good idea who the character is and where I can take this. Who was her villains, things of that nature. But she's, shit. I wasn't worried about that. I was just trying to, write something that was funny. I was just like, well, you didn't do good there either. And we noticed, and look, it ain't no offense to women out there, okay? But most women are terrible comedians. All right? That's just all there is to it. I mean, it just ain't no other way around it. The majority of women are terrible comedians. And so when they're trying to write some funny shit, it just ain't funny, man. It just ain't. I mean, I'm sorry. But the reason that I was talking about season 2 is because one of the writers said something about She-Hulk season 2. I'm like, man, don't even spit that blasphemy to the masses about a season 2. That is blasphemous. Corey, I don't know if I'm going to make it through a season 2.
No, I don't think we're going to make it through a season 2. Please don't make me. Please, cut off my finger. Put razors under my fingernails or something, but don't make me watch season 2.
Oh boy! So She-Hulk, Jen goes in and says this season finale is stupid, and they were like, "Well, we thought it'd be a cool twist, and we don't make decisions anyway. Kevin does. All right. Obviously, this is an homage to Kevin Feige. All right,
who's that?
Just makes sense." You know who Kevin Feige is. He's like the overall leader of Marvel.
Oh, I thought that was Stan Lee, but he dead, isn't he?
Yeah. So of the movie productions, Kevin Feige's like the main mastermind behind everything. So she proceeds to get to Kevin, and he's damn AI. And I'm just like, at this point in time, I'm like, dude, this episode could end right now, and it would save people the rest, the last 5 minutes. Because I'm like, what is going on, man? Corey, what is happening at this point in time?
This, to me, seemed as though an acknowledgement that their show was shit. Like, the whole reason for doing this was to kind of try to recoup from the fact that their show was total shit. And they failed in their attempt. There gets to a certain point, like, when you just have to put something on paper, and I think that's just what they did. Their boss was like, I don't give a fuck. It's terrible. Just give me something so I can keep my boss fucking happy. Right? And his boss has like 10 other shows he had to worry about, so he figured he'd only get a tenth of the wrath. Yeah. Nope, that ain't what's going to happen.
Man, I just need y'all to write something down. Okay? just get us through this last episode. It's done. We done went to a point of no return. We have wasted the audience's whole time. We ain't wasted a piece of their time, but the whole time. And so,
like, every minute of the show was a waste of time. Every fucking minute. There was nothing redeemable about any of it.
Yeah, but it's... Oh, my God. Now, it's pretty irredeemable. Now, what Kevin stands for up here is Knowledge Enhanced Visual Interconnectivity Nexus. Which it don't mean nothing to me, man.
Isn't interconnectivity and nexus redundant?
It might be. Look, yeah. Man, at this point in time, I'm just like, I thought she was going to go straight up see Kevin Feige. That's what I was expecting Kevin Feige to be standing there just to show the end. That's what I thought. I thought he was going to be standing there. But Jen, She-Hulk transforms back into Jen. All right. And then Jen just starts making demands on what the show's going to be. She said, yeah, Todd never took the serum, and, Hulk ain't there, and all this stuff. She's just deleting stuff from the scene. And I'm just like, do what? Corey, do what? I mean, so... Are we to believe, because Emil Blonsky does get arrested for turning Abomination, so I'm guessing now Todd never took the serum now?
I don't fucking know. I watched She-Hulk, so I don't have a clue. And if anybody has a clue, they're lying.
Yeah, it's just real bad, okay? It's just real bad across the board, so... She sits there and she asks Kevin all this stuff. She kind of goes through and says, they got all these shows that, have stuff at stake, have high stakes, and why do we need high stakes? Why can't we have low stakes in it? It's like, because you're a damn superhero. Let me tell you something right now. Somebody's always trying to weaponize you or something like that, okay? So there's always a threat. Either from humans trying to weaponize you or from a villain or something like that. So there is always high stakes if you have superpowers. It's like that in every movie. It's like that in real life. If you have something that people want, then there's going to be high stakes involved. If you got certain amount of knowledge, if you know some things, got some inside information on something, you're going to be in high demand. Does that make sense, right, Corey?
Oh yeah.
So there's going to be high stakes, okay? So she was sitting there explaining how, it doesn't have to have high stakes. We can have fun in it. I'm just like, well, I can have fun and it be good, okay? we can, in fact, do that. And she goes through and she talks about, well, when are we getting the X-Men, So it was an homage, like, okay, the X-Men are coming. And I know there's channels out there that do Easter eggs and stuff. And I ain't hating on those channels, you know what I'm saying? They do a good job of spotting stuff. But fuck an Easter egg, man. You know what I'm saying? I really don't care. Can you make something good right now? Because what I've seen, I've watched a whole bunch of videos of people talking about Easter eggs. Oh, man, this could be referring to this. And then that big thing never really happens, or when it happens, it's kind of like,
Right.
And so it's just like, stop building people up to something that ain't going to be like what you read in the comics. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to a T.
Yeah. I mean, God, like I've never watched a show. Like I don't want to say never, but I rarely watch a show where I feel like I'm being insulted by watching it. And I felt insulted at how fucking bad the writing was to delete things from. I mean, it's almost like instead of actually going into the script and deleting the parts and rewriting them, they left them and then came up with a transitional sequence to undo them. Remember, they could have, at the last minute, had her be in a fucking coma dreaming this whole thing from the crash in the episode 1 and erased the whole series. But did they listen to me? No. They're lucky because I sued them for fucking, intellectual property infringement. But yeah, they had a lot of opportunity and they just fucking squandered it. This is almost I almost feel like this was a bet. Like, I bet you I can make the worst show ever and people will watch it. like Trading Places or something when they bet $1 over Eddie Murphy. Same fucking thing here. Same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So she goes on to speak to the camera once again, which I could care less about, but she says some things, Hulk smashes buildings, I smash fourth walls, and sometimes Matt Murdock. I was like, that's not even funny.
It wasn't
funny.
What
I'm saying? You did them one time. You talking about sometimes, like you've done them multiple times. You did them one time. Okay? So it's just like, and sometimes Matt Murdock. I'm just like, don't nobody care that you a hoe, okay? I mean, why don't you say sometimes some of the other dudes you hooked up with during this season? I mean, we ain't got about 3 hours worth of footage, and you got with 3 guys. Damn, James. I mean, James Bond ain't even racking up like that in the movie. I mean, come on now. And he's the master of getting some stuff. So she tells Kevin that, she'd like to see Daredevil again, and he just flies out of the air from New York, I guess. He just gets dropped right off in his Daredevil costume in broad daylight. And I'm like, okay. Moves from there to a picnic with her family, Matt Murdock sitting there. And then the Hulk comes up with his son, Scar, who looks like a metrosexual. I'm just like, but your son looks like he looks a little emo and depressed. I mean, it's just, and I know some folks are like, oh, World War Hulk. I'm just like, calm down. They don't know what to do with Hulk, man. So people just need to settle down, okay? They won't do that, all right? It's too edgy. That will require Hulk killing people, all right? Like all the superheroes. So it's just like, they won't do no alternate universe of that. So folks could be hyped. So I guess he went to Sakaar to get his son Scar, which I guess he had at some point in time during Ragnarok.
Yeah, I don't know when.
I'm assuming.
Who's the mother? I know nothing about this fucking kid. And why would they introduce a new character in the last 5 minutes of a series that's probably not going to come back? It makes no sense at all.
Yeah, where is Scar going to fit into another series? I don't have any clue. Is he going to be in the Avengers or?
That's probably what they're setting up for, but they did it wrong. If that's what they're doing. Yeah. And the character looks fucking stupid. I saw all kinds of memes on Twitter today about the stupid haircut because the first 2 inches of his head is shaved. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's why I say he's like a metrosexual. I was like, that's Scar. It just seems like, hey guys, how you doing? I'm just
This entire show felt like they were phoning it in. Almost like they got stuck to do it in a contract and they had to do it on the lowest possible budget in the shortest amount of time, and they didn't have a fucking choice. That's what I get.
They were definitely phoning it in.
They were contracted to do this, and nobody wanted to be part of it. That's the vibe that I'm getting.
No doubt. You ain't lying about that. Now, Corey, we've came up on a part of this episode where this is the first time we did this. We've got some dissenting opinions that I happen to scroll across on TikTok. We're going to hear their reasoning, and then me and you are going to discuss on whether they have any good points or not, which the likelihood of that is almost none. But we're gonna give them their due anyway. Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, this first one right here, you can see the screen, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the first one right here, Jay Stoops. This young lady, well, we see right up here out the gate, definitely a good time all around. Episode 8 will always have a special place in my heart. That's sad to hear. Okay. A special place. So we're gonna let her speak about how she felt about this last episode.
So here are some rapid fire thoughts on the She-Hulk finale and like my overall thoughts of the show now that it's done. Obviously spoilers. Come on now. I hate to say it, but I do kind of agree with Terrell that Titania was the weakest part of the show for me. She just felt like she was meant to be like a surface level critique of something that really didn't integrate well into the story, and the writing of her character felt like outdated humor. That said, I did not mind at all that the show was meandering at times. That's what TV is supposed to be. I don't think they needed to like hurry up and get to the plot. It was a sitcom. It was about getting to know Jen, and that it achieved that perfectly. Having Todd be the ultimate villain and having the callbacks to his character throughout the season, like, great, fantastic choice. Having his name be Todd Phelps, which is eerily similar to Todd Phillips, the director of The Joker, like, that feels like an intentional choice, and I respect it so much. The universe expanding that this show achieved, despite the fact that it was just a sitcom, like, revolutionary. Seeing the everyday struggles of real people living in a universe with superheroes and the legal ramifications of that is super interesting. And whether you love or hate the fact that the MCU is this huge, massive, unstoppable franchise, it is something that's going to be around for a while, and I think this is an interesting thing to explore, and it was a perfect avenue for comedy. Madison and Wong, MVPs of the show. Also, I just think the show had a lot of heart. I think focusing on relatable, real-world human struggles made the character feel more real to me than a lot of MCU characters have recently. Seeing Jen lose her apartment and have to move back in with her parents, like, that shit hit home. Yes, everything in the finale was wrapped up kind of easily and off-screen, but again, sitcom. That is literally the point of it. And I think it was cool that they poked fun at themselves and at Marvel Studios and at AI bot Kevin. I mean, shit's funny, man. I'm sorry, but Jen looking to the camera after she said, "And when are we getting the X-Men?" Like, in what world was I not going to love that? Yes, I want to see more from Jen. Yes, I want to see more higher stakes stories. I would love to see her as an official Avenger. I think She-Hulk's history on the Avengers is amazing, and the character deserves that. But this was a really fun and interesting introduction to the character. It's not my favorite Marvel project of all time, but I thought it was solid and really fun. And so did my cat, apparently.
All right. Or any rebuttal for what she had to say there?
Yeah, the only thing I want a woman's opinion on is what she's cooking me for fucking dinner. Everything that she just said was ridiculously overanalyzed to be so wrong. The show is just a piece of garbage. There was nothing intentional behind any of it. And she doesn't know what she's talking about, but she's soft on the eyes. So that's my critique of her critique.
Soft on the eyes. I didn't like that. Now, the one thing she said is like, oh, yeah, I could definitely see She-Hulk as an Avenger. Doing what? Dying? Dying? Could you, early death? Because that's all she got. She can't fight nobody. Who's she gonna fight? Bo, if she'd have been in the Infinity War and ran across, look, Thanos handled, real deal Hulk. No problem. Golly, he would have broke her neck.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Loki. I mean, it's just like, and then, she's like, oh, I didn't mind that it was meandering at times. That's the way sitcoms are. I'm like,
see, I didn't know this was a sitcom. It's never been sold as a sitcom, has it?
I mean, it was.
I don't think so. It was never put forth as a sitcom because a sitcom typically is like, I think sitcoms, I think of stuff like, remember Three's Company? The whole show every week was in one room. It never changed, right? It was one apartment,
right. Mm-hmm.
And it had different situations in that setting. Most sitcoms have a single setting. Look at Seinfeld. The whole goddamn thing was in his apartment, right? So this was not a sitcom. It wasn't sold as a sitcom. I don't know of anywhere that they've ever said it was a sitcom. So trying to analyze it as if it was a sitcom is just the wrong thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And, she was talking about Titania was outdated humor. I mean, I didn't find nothing funny about Titania. She was pretty pointless.
Oh, yeah.
And her, was she the worst part? I don't know, man. There's a lot of stuff running for the worst part of the show, like the fact that it exists. That's in high running for the worst part of the show, and poking fun at yourself and all that, man. I guess that's all good and well, but they just didn't do it good here.
No,
okay?
They didn't do it good. The execution was horrible.
Yeah, because this whole time you're thinking that something's going to happen with her blood. They gave you that, the Asgardian plumbers trying to take her blood. You're like, okay. They gave me a groundwork of what I'm going to see throughout this show. And I believe if I'm correct, that was episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay. And then it just really never came to fruition. And when it did, she just went, fourth wall and just decided to undo it. I'm just like, well, can you go back and undo everybody seeing you do the porno scene? I mean, that's what I want to know. I mean, I want to know if you can go back and undo that. So, her critique. Well, wasn't even critique. She enjoyed the show. She's just wrong. It's okay. Hey, look, everybody can have an opinion, and the opinion can be wrong. And she's just wrong. All right, she's just wrong about it because all those things she was saying, and she actually, this same girl made a video off the previous episode talking about, men making sex tapes with women and releasing them unbeknownst to them. I'm like, how fucking often does that happen?
Almost never.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if we want to go to that boat, the women know they get recorded, but she was just like, oh, I like how it really dived into that and how bad things can go when a man, so you don't like men. I got you. Ain't no problem.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so she might have a little bias towards men. I don't know.
Women hate men until they need that D, and then they fucking love them. So, yeah, women are fickle.
Yeah. They need that D. So yeah, that's the first one. Corey, we are going to look at one more up here who had some different opinions. And, we'll give a breakdown of that. You can't see that right now, Corey, can't you?
Yeah, I can see it.
See it? Cool. All right, here we go.
So I really think that Marvel be watching my videos because let's talk about how She-Hulk has said exactly what I've been saying about the MCU's Phase 4. Again, spoilers if you haven't seen the finale of She-Hulk, so drop a like and come back later. So in this scene where Jennifer talks to Kevin, the decision maker at Marvel Studios, she goes into this monologue about what the Marvel Cinematic Universe is known for and how that ends up putting it into a trap that allows it not to do anything different, like what's happening with the She-Hulk show.
Often said that Marvel movies all end the same way.
Wait, who's saying that?
The fact that she says that they don't have to throw in a bunch of plot and flash and a bunch of weird stuff in the finale just to get people's attention is funny because that's exactly what Phase 4 has been doing. WandaVision, a drama about a woman grieving and having a mental break. One big giant boom boom Dragon Ball finale. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, a social commentary on what the shield means to people of underrepresented communities. Big giant boom boom finale. The problem with the MCU and what the MCU is admitting is that it tries too hard to cater to the MCU fan. And She-Hulk never set out to be one of those MCU shows, and the fans, and I got receipts, have always wanted it to be that, and they criticized it for that. Fans want spectacle when the MCU should be prioritizing stakes, no matter how big or small, and Jennifer Walters' stakes are admittedly pretty small. In this scene, the MCU called out itself, its fans, and proved that it actually does listen to what we're saying.
They might be hearing what we're saying, but they don't seem to give a fuck. That's the problem. That is the problem. They don't seem to give a fuck. But yeah, they're hearing us loud and clear, and that's obvious now.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't seem to matter, really.
Yeah, now... When he said that's the problem with Marvel, he's mistaken. It's not a problem. Every movie has a fucking finale of some sort. And it's usually flashy.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually the conflict between the antagonist and protagonist. And then the movie ends shortly after. That the conclusion of that conflict. That's the way TV shows are.
Uh-huh.
It's the way everything is.
Yep, conflict resolution. It goes back to the ancient fucking Greeks and the ancient literary, style that has been behind everything ever written produced, made into a movie.
Everything.
It's the dawn of time. Right. You have to follow these. Unfortunately, you have to follow the literary themes that were created thousands of years ago because that's what is entertaining, and that's the whole point of the book or whatever it is we're watching. So you have a story, and then you have something that the main characters need to overcome, and that's the conflict, and then you have conflict resolution. It's in 100% of fucking stories you've ever been told in your life, except She-Hulk.
Except She-Hulk. She-Hulk's the only one. It's the only one ever. It's the only one ever. It's just like, it's just a bowl of nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, hey, man, here goes this bowl. It's like, what's in it? Cereal, grits? I mean, what we got in there? Oh, there's nothing in there. You know, just air. But you do have a bowl now. So, I mean, be happy that you have a bowl. And I just, like, once again, everybody can have their own opinion. Doesn't mean that it's got to be right, okay? His opinion's wrong here. It's flat out wrong. Anything that's ever been good has some type of flashy ending, some type of twist ending, okay? Anything and everything. You have to have that. That gets people talking about your product in a good way.
One thing that he said that I don't know, he said that basically the theme of the Winter Soldier TV show was to show how superheroes are reflected to underrepresented cultures. Is that true?
Yeah, because that old black guy was actually a super soldier at the same time Captain America was, or shortly after. But he actually got recaptured by the U.S. government and experimented on and everything, and he never got credit for being a super soldier and actually going, because it goes through the story. He goes through because he almost kind of like a mentor to the Falcon. At some point in time, he figures out that he's there. But yeah, he's a super soldier. That old black guy from way back in the day.
So Marvel. So let me get this straight. Marvel's a bunch of racists, and they overlooked their own character. And so to overcome their own racism, they had to make a series to justify or to overcome their own racism. That's basically what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Which the whole Falcon and the Winter Soldier show is strictly about super soldier serum. That's what it's about. I don't know so much about that racism thing. They just threw that in there, I think, just to have it in there. To be honest with you, because at the end, you know, Falcon ends up making a statue for him at the museum for superheroes, for, you know, his deeds he done for the American government back in the day. You know, everybody felt good. Somebody shedded a tear. And that's all good and well, okay? That's all good and well. But, you know, when they were talking about, you know, world building and things like that, this didn't build the world for me. Did it introduce characters? Yeah. But it didn't introduce them in any type of meaningful way to me. You know, I mean, Daredevil's in there, but it's just like, do you have any hope of Daredevil's show being any good?
Daredevil already had a show. And his show was good for most of it. And then, if I remember correctly, it's been a couple years, but the last season was like dog shit. And it left me feeling very unsatisfied because he's just not a very satisfying fucking character. Look, he's blind. Big fucking deal. Okay? I don't give a fuck about handicapped superheroes. I'm sorry. Are they an underrepresented class too? No. You can shove your wokeness up your ass. Like, that's the only reason they're bringing him back. I mean, otherwise, here goes back to originality. Can't they come up with some fucking guy who's in a wheelchair, but then he becomes a superhero and he's not in a wheelchair? That would be a better story than motherfucking Daredevil. There you go. If I see this in a movie, I'm going to ask for my $1 million in court. So
I'm going to need that meal. I'm going to need that meal, dog. Dude, day. I'm just going to need it. All right. Don't.
But seriously, in 10 seconds, I came up with a better plot than they could have for fucking a blind superhero. Like, seriously, a guy in a wheelchair got fucked up by he got hit by a radioactive car. How's that? A car carrying nuclear waste. and he got fucking hit. And then at night, when the moon is full, he turns into fucking Nuclear Man. Oh, wait a minute. Toxic Avenger kind of did that. But hey, you see what I'm saying here, right? Like we don't need to be rehashing old characters nobody gives a shit about who already had their shot. He already had his fucking shot in the spotlight. Okay, they never went into the movies with him, and so that guy
except the old movie when Ben Affleck was Daredevil.
I don't even count that.
Oh, okay.
Ben Affleck
that was
works for the CIA.
Years ago.
Okay, so
that was years ago.
no, that was terrible. But like with this actor in particular, so yeah, I don't see Daredevil going anywhere. Does anyone give a fuck about Daredevil? Really? We already seen him.
That's a lot of people
they've sold millions and millions, hundreds of millions of comics with thousands of characters, and we see the same dozen over and fucking over. Like,
yeah,
Marvel, fuck you. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, they're trying to go back to what they believe works. Daredevil actually was a character that a whole lot of people were stoked about. Him showing up in She-Hulk. His scenes were okay. I know one of my friends said that Matt Murdock, Daredevil, he laughed more in the last episode than what he did in all 2 or 3 seasons of his actual show. It was just like, why is he laughing so much?
I just feel like anybody,
he's like, why is he here?
Any actor associated with She-Hulk is just like, if they're new and up and coming, their career is done. Like this chick, I guess she was in Orphan Black also, but like, I don't want to see her ever again.
That's her only thing. That's her only major thing up until now. She could just not be in anything else, and that'd be fine. This could be her last hurrah. You know what I'm saying? And she can ride off into the sunset knowing that she really made a poor career choice.
Yep, shot herself in the foot.
As far as becoming She-Hulk. Look, I ain't gonna lie to you. If I was her and I'd seen the script, I'd have been like, y'all ain't sabotaging me like that. You can go get somebody else. Hell no, man. I'll go do some voiceover on some cartoons or something. Mm-hmm. Y'all ain't sabotaging my career like that. I got my name associated with this.
That might be the best place for She-Hulk in like a cartoon for kids. Really. I mean, let her do the voice. I mean, that could go over fine.
Man said you might have had a better outcome if it was a cartoon. You'd be like, oh, okay, this is a
cartoons
cartoon.
You can get away with a lot more, you know.
Yeah.
Like not realistic shit can happen in a cartoon, and they tried to fork us off on some stuff that was bullshit in a live action now.
But I ain't gonna lie to you, there was more action in cartoons, like Yu-Gi-Oh. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh had more action in it. They fucking playing with cards. You know what I'm saying?
And it's not an inability to hire good writers. I mean, Disney Plus is doing Star Wars, and Andor is kicking ass, so they can hire good writers. They have the ability to hire good writers.
Yeah.
It's just like, I think the day of the superhero is coming to an end. Like, just nobody gives a shit. At one time, people appreciated superheroes because it was powers that people wanted. It was envy, right? That grabbed people by the superheroes. They wanted to be like this character. We're over it. We're done. We've been getting superheroes for 25 fucking years straight now. Like, we're just over it. And that's not even including the older shit. See, back in the day when they did Superman, and they did like before Spider-Man, but back in like the 80s when they had superheroes, you got a one-off superhero movie, like the Superman movie, and then you have what ended up doing like 4 or 5 of those. But like those weren't connected to some other universe. Those were just kind of standalone, and they were what they were, and they didn't really always have to follow the comics because they were movies, not particularly comic adaptations. And so they came off so much better than this. Like the Marvel universe has just gone out of its way to cross over their characters, and we're over it, right? Crossovers are good when you get them. They're like salt, good in little doses, right? You don't, if all you got is nonstop crossovers, you lose track of whose fucking movie it is, right? I remember that was one of my complaints. Right. That was one of my complaints with one of the Captain America movies. Like, it had so many of the other characters, it didn't feel like a Captain America movie.
You're talking about Civil War?
Yeah.
Civil War. I mean, it had everybody in it.
Right.
So, it was a Captain America movie, though.
Right. So why was it a Captain America movie? Right. You see, they get to a point where it doesn't matter who fucking movie it is because they got all the characters in it. Right. So I don't really give a fuck about anything Marvel's doing. Like, now that I heard the Blade movie got kicked back, and after seeing this, like, they're going to botch Blade. Like, Wesley Snipes was the man. I love all three of the Blade movies. I even have the Blade comics. I even have Blade action figures, believe it or not, worth a lot of money. But I don't want to see any of it. Like, just be done. I don't want to see any more fucking superheroes.
But you're gonna have to, Corey, because we got to review them. I mean, we got to review them, Corey. Look, man, you can't just we can't just run away from this. Hey, look, they might surprise us. They might end up making something good. Black Adam is coming out next weekend, which I am going to go check out. All right,
which is DC, which could be good.
Yeah, which is DC. So there's like potential there, and we are going to review that trailer right here in the next couple of days. So you guys be on the lookout for that. So yeah, that's She-Hulk in a bottle. Our finale show for She-Hulk. Thank God that we can move on with our lives, because this has stripped us of a good portion of it.
Mm-hmm.
A little over 3 hours, and
plus 9 hours of shows that we did on it.
Yeah,
so
yeah. So I can honestly say that this show absolutely sucked from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what we can tell you. We would rate it, but let's just not.
Is that an admission of a 0 out of 10 cubes?
Yes. I mean, IMDb gave it 5.1 out of 10. That's 136,000 people who have voted. So I don't know how I got to 5.1, man. I just really don't. It's just, it had nothing. And then the finale just left you feeling like they didn't even give a fuck that you watched it. That's actually how the finale felt. It actually felt like, suckers, y'all watched this. So
right.
Thanks.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what it is. They speak in your face. So yeah, that's She-Hulk, guys. If y'all haven't watched any of the episodes, don't. You could just listen to us, and we give you the banner for it. All right. So that's what we think about it. I think me and Corey are pretty much in unison on this. Correct, Corey?
Oh yeah.
Correct, Corey. And we'll try to do this on some more episodes, where if I can find some people, if you find some footage of people, Corey, as well, that have something that, you know, is kind of contrary to what we believe is going on. Love to hear their side of the story. I always like to hear their side, and then let them know why their opinion's wrong. But you know, so yeah, we appreciate everybody for listening. Corey, you got anything else for the people out there?
No. If you got to watch something, watch the new Star Wars Andor. Don't watch She-Hulk. She-Hulk is just not worth your time in any way.
Yeah.
Not even. And then some people will be curious to see how bad it was. Don't even bother. It's like not even good enough to watch how bad it was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but yeah, definitely watch Andor. Andor is a banger, especially the episode 6. That dude, that trumps a whole lot of stuff that I've watched right here recently. So yeah, Andor is going places. Hopefully, it remains on track, and it does seem to be going that way. So yeah, be on the lookout. We're still reviewing Andor when that comes out every week. We've got a Rings of Power episode coming out for y'all in the next day, so check that out, the finale on that and our thoughts on that. So yeah, and early in the week we'll be doing a review on a couple trailers. Should be doing Black Adam, and we'll also be doing a review on Wakanda Forever. So we'll be doing reviews on those trailers, so be on the lookout for those. And so from your boy HQ420, co-host Corey Hughes, we'll catch y'all on the next Showtime with the Cube. Y'all have a good night. Peace out.